Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Sonia. My channel is Sonia Unapologetic, and this is my first live panel to where we're going to talk about dating, specifically dating in the Black community and dating beyond 40 years old. So, I have these wonderful panelists with me, Mr. Mario, Brian, Shawnee, and Miss Parisha. So we're gonna have a great conversation tonight, just about the dating experiences, in the Black community and beyond 40. But I guess I'll start. One of the things, or the first thing I want to talk about is my dating expectations as opposed to what the dating experience actually is. And so for me, I was married very young. I was married from age 20 to age 28. And when I got divorced, I just thought the dating experiences was going to be just very easy. I thought I was going to get back out there, and I thought it was going to be very easy to find a man who wanted commitment. So I was going to give myself a break, and then I was going to get into a serious committed relationship because I was trying to find my real husband who was supposed to be my husband. And so I thought it was going to be so easy, and it was almost impossible. It seemed pretty much impossible to find anyone who wanted a commitment. It was a lot of, we're in a situationship, but I don't want to talk about, give it a label, that vagueness. So it was a lot of vagueness. I feel like it's a lot of, I have met guys who like immediately they start talking about marriage or moving together. So then that kind of, feels weird. But then I find out later those guys are only saying what they think I want to hear, and come to find out they're not even looking for any relationship at all. It's just the marriage talk is just kind of something to bring down my guard and get me to trust them more. So some of the things I have written down here is commitment. So people not wanting commitment. Communication is a big one, to where it's hard to find someone that has good and consistent communication. Let's see. Okay, so I also put people only caring about themselves, so not caring about me as a human being, but just there to see what they can get out of me. And then also as a Black woman, I don't feel like the numbers are in our favor, so it just seems like, was it like 20 single Black men, man,
right?
Black woman. So the numbers aren't in our favor. And then if anyone has tried online dating, experts say that Black women and Asian men do the worst with online dating. And so I'll see a lot of guys' profiles to where they'll be open to dating any other race, but they won't be open to dating Black women. So
I just say date an Asian man. That way I can get whatever I want from the. Oh, that was gonna be real bad. I wasn't gonna say what I'm gonna say.
So Shawnee, since you just spoke, I guess we'll talk about what has been your like dating experience, and like how does it differ from what you
So we really want to start with me, right? Because y'all know I'm gonna throw a caveat and a curveball and a boomerang and all that other shit into this conversation.
Give us Shawnee.
Yes.
So I was that gal that always had a boo, right? So got married to my boo at 23, straight out of college. Did the whole marriage thing for 14 years, and it was an experience. And I feel that sometimes, as God says that he puts people in your life for a reason and for a season. That was my season, and the reason was 2 beautiful kids and a gumbo recipe. So got that out of it, and I moved on. But me moving on took a different turn of events than what I thought that I would have moved on to. Because, can we curse on this?
We're being real, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I have always been strictly dickly. So that brings me to this caveat I'm about to throw. So after my divorce, I was wowed by a woman, and I began a relationship with a woman for 8 years. So I never really had a break. I went from my husband to my girlfriend at the time. And I didn't have to deal with the dating world. So here I am, I think 37 years old, getting into that relationship with her. And I was just fine. I mean, and then we broke up. So now I am 45 and now I'm having to figure out how to date. I have not dated anyone since I was 21 or 22 years old. Where do you go? Last niggas I met at the club, at a bar. That's not the case anymore. You go out to places, club, bars, restaurants, whatever, and everybody is so singular and to themselves and not really engaging in conversation. And, back in the day, when you would go out and a guy would see you walk by and he's going to make eye contact and he's going to show you that he's interested in you. He would send you a drink. He would ask you to dance. That is no longer the case now in this world, of dating. So what do? You have to resort to almost online dating and meeting people. That's what I've resorted to. And that's been a disaster. So I just think that in the world that we're in now, that we're living in, when everyone is kind of almost in this singular mode, we're always either in our phones, in with our headphones on when you go places. I know whenever I go somewhere, have my AirPods on. So it's just me, my music, my book that I'm listening to. I'm not even looking at the outside world to notice if somebody's checking me out. And that's how everybody is. And so it's hard for you to meet people when you're kind of almost so into yourself. And I also think part of that too, I'll say this and I'll be done, is that we have become a little bit more cautious because of some of the horror stories that we hear. I will watch Discovery ID channel all damn day. Snapped, kill that hoe for my man, all that shit has shown me that a bitch will kill you behind her man and a nigga will kill you behind anything. So It makes you a little bit more cautious. And you're able to, and as you get older, you are able to see red flags and pick up on them quicker than you would when you were younger, because you have those experiences. So I'll say that and I'll digress. If anybody wants to divert back to me, then hey, I'm here.
I think you talked about the carefulness. One thing I've noticed with dating is some men are very sensitive about rejection. So that means if they approach you and they want you to go on a date with them, they want you to be their woman, they want you to be their wife, it's like, you better say yeah. Or you're seeing instances to where the lady, and I think it was in Harlem, the guy asked her if he can buy, her wine. And she's just like, no, I'm just trying to, get this wine and get back home. It's been a long day, at work. And this guy and his homeboy beat her up. They tried to bite her eye out. And so lately I'm seeing so many situations to where you can't just say no. It's like women are having to give a Google number or something. It's like, be nice to this man until you can get away, because it's over and over to where I don't know what it is that we're seeing an increase in. Or I've even saw instances to where women have gotten, killed. There was a lady, and she, people thought it was like she was at a club, but she was actually at like a wake or funeral for family members. It was like in a neighborhood, and this guy who wasn't part of the wake or funeral was walking in the neighborhood and saw her and was like, hey, can I get your number? And she's like, well, for one thing, she was married, but she's like, I'm here with family, we're grieving. And that man went and got a gun and came back and killed her. So I've had, guys ask, like, if y'all aren't interested, why are y'all pretending to be interested? And then it's like, the woman gave me her number and then she's not going to, engage, or she'll block me or whatever. it's a safety issue. So that's something that women have to take into account as well. That and I know men do as well, but women might feel a little bit more vulnerable and different about that. But guess we can go on to the next panelist. I was gonna go you, Parisha, but if Mario or Brian want to talk about the dating experience, is it what you expected? Is it all roses, or is it not all roses? I'm gonna go you, Brian.
So
you already sound like it's bad.
well, similar to Shawnee and Sonia, I got married young, got divorced young, and I just made up my mind that I wasn't gonna do it. I'm not, I don't want to test the market. I don't want to try. Plus, there was a period in time when I was dealing with an extensive amount of breakup related drama around my kids. Let's just call it that. And so it was just too much to try to bring into a new situation. I had a buddy of mine convince me to go on a date with a young lady. We hit it off, ended up getting married, and then that didn't work out. And so, yeah, divorced twice, 2 times. And
Why are we laughing? Sorry.
So it's yeah, even this journey over the last, what's it been, about 2.5 years, has been, unfortunately, it's kind of been what I expected. It's kind of been just a lot of women who don't know what they want. Like, women say men don't know what they want a lot of times, but I've encountered a lot of women who just honestly don't know what they want. And because I tend to move a little differently than a lot of other men that I know, it can be frustrating. And so I found myself going back into that, nah, I'm not gonna do this again phase. I'm just gonna focus on my kids. So that's been my experience. Me and Sonia have these conversations all the time about why that is and why certain things are happening certain ways. So, but that's my experience.
You haven't really had to be as immersed in the dating pool, probably as I have, because we got divorced the first time around the same time, and then you went back into another serious relationship and end up getting married again. So you haven't had to be as immersed in, but still you have had the time to date as well, but I think you're lucky you hadn't. I've had 12 years of being in this dating pool.
I mean, if I don't even know if you remember, but after my first marriage, I literally was researching and considering becoming a monk. I was like, I'm not doing this, because for me, relationships.
You take it a little too down. We're not that bad, Brian. Come on, boo.
Right.
Relationships are simple, and we make them really, really complicated unnecessarily.
I agree.
And so I have a question, Brian. You said that women don't know what they want. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Okay. I have been told I'm a good guy. And so what happens in situations such as mine is that women have a track record of dating the not so good guy. They say, I want a good man, I need a good man, and here I come. And then we spend a little time together, very little time, and I realize that this isn't what they want. This is what they're settling for, because what they want won't act right. But the boundaries and the standards that a good man tends to have sometimes ends up it's too much. It's like, no, I don't want to have to do all that. I don't want uh, it's that fine line between the memes and things they post all the time where they say, if an attractive guy talks to you, then it's an attractive guy just flirting with you. But if it's an unattractive guy, now he's a creeper.
It's sexual harassment.
Yeah, and it's sexual harassment. Now we call it HR. It's that thin line between like finding that perfect harmony between what they want and what they expect. Because I'm gonna take a page out of your book, Shawnee. I tell women this all the time, friends, family, anybody, nice guys have dicks too. So just because you're a nice guy doesn't mean you're not thinking the same thing that the hoe is.
Mm-hmm.
You respond differently. You might be more respectful about it, but you're thinking the same thing. So getting a nice guy with the expectation that his desires, wants, thoughts are going to be so much different than this other guy, it's unrealistic.
I real quick, I want to say this, and I saw Prisha raise her hand, but so that we won't lose track or I won't lose track of my thought because I'm old. I think that in that situation is that, a woman wants a bad boy. We think that we want a bad boy until you get one. And then you're like, okay, you know what? Let me go to, and then when you do get someone who's good, then it is hard to break that cycle. It's hard to kind of get yourself into the groove of, did he really just open the door for me? Did he really just pack me a lunch and hand it to me on my way out the door and kiss me and tell me I look beautiful in the morning? Is this, does he really not having hoes call him, all hours of the night? And so I found myself in a situation when I got a person who was good, doubting that could be real and that could be true, and almost wanting to test the waters and seeing like, this can't be real. And nobody's like this. So I think that we, as women, we actually do want it. But when it comes, you're right. We have kissed a lot of toes. You have to kiss a lot of toes to get to the frog. No, is that what you're right? Kiss a lot of frogs to get to the prince. That's what it is.
Oh,
you
God,
kissing
Sean.
toes to kiss the frog? Like what?
Right, whatever. You gotta get some toes, kiss the frog, and then kiss them frogs, and then find your prince. There's a lot of kissing we got to do, to find that right person. But when you do, when we do, I think that. But it's just it's a process. It's a process we have to go through. But women, we do know what we want ultimately. It's just that we have to go through. It's like kind of getting a car started. You got to crank it up. And when you finally get there, you're going to have, hopefully, if you don't have somebody who's broken and ruined, who's jacked up either. But we ultimately kind of sort of maybe a little bit know what we want, but we're looking, I think for me, we're looking for a man to kind of direct that path.
Or is it also that, like, okay, when I got divorced the first time, I wanted to date someone. It goes from dating to something, exclusive, to marriage. And I was going to be married a second time. And I should, by this point, have 2 kids and a house and the little dog is what I should have right now. But since I was not finding that has definitely changed, what I want at this point. It's like now it's just like, it's like, am I really going to find that? It's been 12 years. Am I really going to find that? So now it's like my optimism about, and also I don't even think it's just being less optimistic. It's the fact that now it's just like, okay, well now, I'm 40 years old. It's like now the kid thing, not going to do that now. The marriage thing, that's not a priority or not, something that has to happen either. So it could be that what you want, but it's very difficult to find that because it's like you can't just go to a grocery store and go to an aisle and pick up a husband. And then there's all these different brands. If you want, him to look like this, if you want, him to have, this type of job. It's like I think a lot of times, if you let married people tell it, you should be able to just go to the grocery store and pick out the brand of man on whatever aisle they sell husbands on. So if you're not married again, it must be your fault that you don't want it because it should be out there plentiful, and it's not. And so that ends up, I think, changing what women want. Or for some women, they end up kind of changing their path. But Parisha, you also had your hand up. I don't know if you had a question for Brian or.
I did. I had a question for Brian. And then also I want to kind of jump in and get my little spiel going on as well. But Brian, so the question that I have is, you know, you did mention that a lot of women don't know what they want. And that could very well be true. I'm a true believer that everything is within time. Everyone, you know, path is a little different, and every, you know, depending on the time, people's wants and needs are a little different. So my question is, what type of women are you going for? Are you going for mostly the hourglass shape, or the most popular, or the woman that seems to appear to have it all together, you know, to where you can see, oh, she's bringing X and Y and Z to the table? Or are you really getting to know and listening to the person that's in front of you? Because one thing that I do know, and what I have found for me, in 2 weeks, if I meet a new guy, pretty much in 2 weeks, I already know what category I will place him in. So, and you know, everybody is not going to be a prospect for my husband, because every man that I meet cannot handle me. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't put that on every man. But yeah, just kind of tell me a little bit about the women that you're going toward, or that kind of have shown you that they don't know what they want. Because I, you know, as a 44-year-old woman, I know exactly what I want and what I don't want.
Well, I'm a bad picker. So, and it's not because I was looking for things that are considered to be, I wasn't looking for hourglass figure. I wasn't looking for surface level stuff. I just pick bad because sometimes, I don't know why. I know now in that process what I look for and what I expect. My standards are significantly higher than they have been in the past. Obviously, like, my first wife was my high school sweetheart. So that was kind of a unique situation. My second wife, for the purposes of the conversation, I'm calling her my wife because legally we did get married, but I call her my baby mama all the time because we weren't like, we was married that long. And so, and it was a bad fit. It was a bad choice, a bad fit. We got together, I believe, for the purposes of conceiving my daughter. And outside of that, it wasn't ever supposed to be anything more than that. And I just worked my magic, per se, to try to ease the relationship along until it just got to a breaking point. Like, no, this isn't gonna work. And so, no, I just picked bad. Now I'm doing a lot better, but in the past, no. And I picked, how do I say this? I was unequally yoked. Like, I not only did I pick bad, I picked people who were below myself and where I should have been, what I should have been looking for.
Remember, we're gonna post this on Facebook and
Mm-hmm.
later.
Mm-hmm. Brian said 0 fucks given.
Okay.
I'll tell him.
I tried.
Okay,
I tried to say it as nice as I could, but
That
I
was
couldn't
not-
think.
But when you say below, let me ask you this. Was there no, I mean, when you say below, you know, because sometimes people have to catch up sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that was the
Was
case.
it that there was no effort at catching up? There was no, because let me tell you something, everybody's not going to be at, you know, at the same. Sometimes, you know, you have some people that whatever, some things happen in their life cause them to be a little bit behind, but because they got the effort, that drive, they're trying so hard to put in the effort, you know what I mean? And they're going to try their best to make it work. So when you say below, there was no help for these people, because sometimes,
there was no want
people
to.
try a little hard and they can get there. There was okay. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what
there was no want
there was
to.
no there want to.
Yeah, they didn't
Okay.
they didn't desire, like, with my goals, my aspirations, my dreams, my vision for the house. They didn't want those same things, but it got to a point to where they were uncomfortable articulating that they didn't want those same things. And so,
Okay.
like, once we achieved certain goals, they kind of were like, okay, cool, I've made it. And I was like, no, there's still some other things we can be doing. And they didn't want that. And so that ultimately is what broke up the relationship. Was, like I said, I was trying to think of a better word to use than below, but
Below is the word you use, and that's what's gonna be online for the
Oh, you
rest of
could
your
have
life.
said stuck.
That's it is
Stuck or stagnant.
Down, underneath,
Down. Okay.
buried.
They call it baja in Spanish.
All right.
You're gonna get that call, right? But
That's
okay,
fine.
so
That's fine.
you're gonna get that call. So a little bit about me.
Back
And
to
I
her.
just feel like back to me, Shawnee. So I just feel like I'm an outcast because the three before me have already been married. And at 44, I've never been married. I think when I was younger, the desire was there because I had in my mind, who I thought would have been my husband. However, it didn't work out. So for me, I'm a person that, which I think gets me in trouble a lot, because I'm a loyal person, and I would prefer to be in a committed relationship. However, situations, circumstances caused me not to be, and previous hurt. So after that, I kind of took on the attitude of a man. Like, okay, I don't want no husband. I don't want a husband. I don't want a commitment. I'm just going to be raw and uncut like the fellas in the street. So that's just the attitude I took on. And which, I can say, hey, some good, some bad, but during that time period, with me having that mindset, did I ruin chances that could have been potential husband? Maybe, I don't know. But since then, I kind of went into a hibernation period because at that point, a lot of things had happened to me, whereas love was concerned. And it kind of put a damper on my heart. And I'm like, you know what? Hey, I need to protect me and my whole being, because I can tend to get out of character a little bit. So after hibernation, when I come out of hibernation, I'm ready. My kid is grown. Oh my God, now back on the scene with dating. Honey, when I tell you, and needless to say, I did move from Shreveport to Texas. The guys are totally different. When I tell you, it is rough for a single, beautiful, strong Black woman to get back in this dating game. When I tell you, oh my God, it just feels like it's a race. It feels like
Mario
every
over
day
there his lips, honey. It seemed like you may have a little winner chicken dinner. Mario like that. Wait till she get done talking.
My goodness, you can't run Mario. So
Mario was like, yeah, he was over there dancing.
Well, I mean, it's just, it's a little hard. And I just feel like we're in competition, with the guys that are considered to be half decent guys that still want a woman. You know what I mean? So it's a battle. It's a battle and it's hard, honey. So I have no expectations as far as trying to be married quickly. Shoot, I got to get a boyfriend first. And that's sad to say, at 44, you still talking about a boyfriend. It's hard. Let me just say that. Okay, man friend.
just get a little entanglement.
Whomever.
I just want an entanglement. Just entangle my ass with somebody for
Girl,
sure.
I've been entangled for years, honey.
I don't want no. I just want me a little quick
You're
entanglement.
right. You're right. You're right. You're
So
right.
So we'll be quiet.
I'm totally with that.
That shows that our experiences, because Brian was talking about the women not knowing what they want. Our experiences and things that happen, and we you'll start to gain more and more baggage and hurt. It changes us, and it changes
Mhm.
what we want. It jades us. It just
Mhm.
it really changes who we are. So I guess we're gonna go to Mario.
Mario done licked all the skin off his lips.
Well, that's okay. I'll get you some, some lip chap or something.
Okay, all right. Well,
that shows me from Louisiana. We say lip chap.
Lip chap.
Lip chap, a little something to wet it.
okay, well, my name is Mario. I met Sonia. When did you start working at USA?
I think maybe 20.
Was it 13? 14? 13? Okay, so that's when I met Sonia, and I know she said she was doing a documentary or like a little short film on online dating. That's kind of when online dating was pretty much kind of a new thing, compared to what it is now. And so I I'm not the good guy, so let's get that right out the bat. So I can give you the not good guy experience. So I was married. Actually, I was married probably longer than everybody. I was married almost 17 years. I probably shouldn't have been as experienced in dating as I have been, but even during my almost 17 years, but hey, it is what it is. For me, dating has not really been a problem. I'll be 50 in November. So I'm pretty much, I'm just kind of, I'm gonna kind of go through the motions type of guy. So I had, I think I moved to Dallas in like 2012, and I stayed there till like 2017. I just want to let you know, I had a lot of fun in Dallas. Dallas was really fantastic. I mean, I'm I guess I'm currently in a situationship, long distance. That's kind of what I'm doing. I've never really had any problems with dating, like even starting from, even when I was in high school. I was on a basketball team, and so I transferred from the basketball team. I joined the military. And so I was in the best shape, and you know how the military was. Oh, that's a whole nother story. We have to have a whole nother podcast for my military experience. And I end up meeting my wife when we was 19. I just came back from Desert Storm. I'm a Desert Storm veteran, so we came back. She had a cute face and a big booty. Superficial. I was all the way in with that, so I'm good with that. So I got married early, had a daughter, and I pretty much I got divorced. Hell, I got tired of cheating. I was like, man, I'm not gonna stop. So let me just do all this a favor. I'm not gonna.
Well, at least you honest.
You've been a hoe. You've been a hoe.
You've been a hoe.
You was a hoe. Yeah. You was a hoe in high school. On the basketball team, you was a hoe in the military. You moved to Dallas. You hoed here in Dallas. You hoed around when you with your wife. You still kind of sort of a hoe, or you a reformed hoe? what bucket of hoism can we put you in?
I'm single now, so technically, so I guess technically I can't be,
But you said a situation.
Well, as long as you're being upfront. Yeah. As long as you're being upfront.
Oh, you upfront when, like, if you met a woman, did you have women thinking they were in an entire exclusive relationship with you and you was messing with? Tell the truth.
No. How it come in my head is how it come out my mouth. Anybody know me? I never played games. I was like, look, I ain't leaving my wife. I ain't doing none of that. We just having fun. That's what I was doing. So I never played the I'm gonna be with you, leave my wife game. Cause first of all, I'm doing wrong and I believe in karma. So I wasn't going, mess
Have
it
double
all
karma.
It comes full
You
circle.
wasn't gonna get karma for cheating. You was gonna get karma if you lied to someone about.
Girl, these
Yeah, so
Well, one thing I can say, I can give you definitely, I want to give you, I want to applaud you for being honest, with the women, not having them thinking that you will be leaving your wife, because a lot of men, they do that when you don't have to do that. Matter of fact, women nowadays, if we're going to partake in that type of situationship, we're going to do that anyway. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So there's no need to lie. Let's just keep it copacetic. Let's just be honest about it. Because at the end of the day, if I want to do you because I want to do you, I'm going to do that whether you're with someone or you're not.
yeah.
I want to applaud you for doing that.
Yeah, I can honestly say probably out of all the women, and it was quite a few, only 2 women didn't go because I was married. Just 2. Yeah, just
saying that
there's 2 women that wouldn't go. Other than that, everybody else they were fine with it. But hell, they had some of them were married, some of them had boyfriends. Like hell, all of them had somebody. Like they weren't just out just some kind of monk just not doing anything. All of them had somebody. And so I was just I had all the tools. I dressed up every day. At the time I was self-employed. This is early 2000s. Like I had like 2 Escalades. I had Lexus. Oh, I had all the tools to get things done. So it was, it wasn't that difficult.
You only need one tool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can have all them tools, but if that one tool ain't getting the job done, you can kick rocks.
Yeah, I worked. Yeah.
Open yourself up for that one, Mario.
So what?
You opened yourself up for that one. You talk about
that's fine. Hey, you put it out there. Yeah. Hey, hey, if the government is listening to my phone calls, please put my information out there. Show the world I am not in bad.
Leak your news. You're like,
right.
I am not in bad. Oh, for real? Yeah, put me out there. Yeah, make it easy for me. Please make it easy for me. Man, this dude here, he is on one. So,
So Mario, quick question. What made you finally say, you say you got tired of cheating. And not trying to be in your business, but you kind of put it out there a little bit. Like if your wife, if she got wind of it, if she found out, was that like,
not well, she didn't find out. I came out. I told her. Like, so it wasn't like it's just like, oh, I found out. Now, I just was like, it was a situation where me and this woman had been dating almost 4 years. And I was like
4-year like mistress? Is that what you're?
Yeah, 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. And usually
real entanglement.
You usually don't get 18 months out of a mistress. It's you 18 months, and usually she's look, I got to be number one. But yeah, I got like, well, actually,
my grandfathers had 20 and 30-year mistresses. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
School mistresses.
I'm talking about not this new school. So it was like 7.5 years total, but it was like 4 when I guess I finally told my wife or whatever. And it was kind of like, I had like a Sunday routine, right? So keep in mind, my ex-wife was very religious. So she would leave Sunday at like 8:00 and she wouldn't come back home to like Sunday at 8 at night, just from 8 to 8. And she'd be gone 12 hours on Sunday.
Serving.
So you out creeping on a Sunday.
So I told you my wife was religious. I told you she was religious, not me.
So you out serving, you ain't serving God on Sunday. You serving too.
So what?
He got his tools that on.
So what happened was, my routine was my wife would leave every Sunday, 8:00. Boom. So she was older, and she was 9 years older than me. So she was old school. So she would have Sunday dinner done by the time I was eating Sunday dinner for breakfast. So my routine for like almost 3.5, 4 years was go over there Sunday at 10. Boom. We get a quick one in before the first game. We'll fall asleep. I get another quick one in. We'll go, I'll eat one more time. Then I'll be back at home at at 7:00, laying across the bed, watching the last game. And that was my routine.
I hope you wash your ass.
Sunday. Huh?
Did you?
I said, I hope you wash your ass.
Oh, several times. Oh, yeah. I stayed in the shower. Yeah,
and then, wait a minute, let me ask this. I know your wife had got all dressed up in her nice skirt and them white stockings and them little kitten heels, and she had made them dinner for her husband. I hope you didn't bring that woman no plate of your wife's food over there before you hit them skins.
Of whose food?
You didn't mistress your wife's food ever.
Did I bring my wife, the mistress?
No,
food?
did you take your mistress a plate of your wife's food?
My wife didn't cook.
You said that. Okay.
So we listening wrong.
The mistress was cooking. Yeah. So I was going over there eating. Yeah. No. She wasn't cooking. Then she would ask me, "Hey, you good?" Like when she come in at like 8:00 at night, you need something? No, I'm good. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm good.
Well, did you bring your wife the mistress's food?
Right. Well, your wife been out there churching all day, praising the Lord. I know she hungry. Did you bring her some of the mistress food since you're bringing home that little tainted dick?
No, it just never, nah. And so, and that was kind of like,
Blair bring a plate, like,
nah.
She could get a collard green, a chicken wing.
She never said anything, and I never said anything. That was kind of like our routine. And then,
so
I was kind of like,
she knew what was going on. She knew.
No, not that whole time. No, she had no idea.
So this is something, for me, guys a lot of times feel so, I guess they feel good about the fact that I'm not lying to those women out there in the streets, but the wife is the one that's being kept in the dark. And that's pretty scary. So was there not any guilt about your wife getting lied to? Because
I didn't lie. I just
you lied to your wife. You didn't have to explain.
Yeah, it was nothing to explain. Like, what was the lie? I was already home when you came home. So
okay, so now you're being intellectually dishonest.
Yeah, so like,
but you're playing semantics because she didn't know. So if it wasn't about lying, so that meant that, it just never came up. I had no problem with telling her. She probably wouldn't have had a problem with that. That wasn't the case. It's like you were omitting. You weren't comfortable with telling her, like, okay, well, you enjoyed church. I'm gonna be over, at Shanita's house.
Well, that was the first 4 years. We was together like 7.5. So
okay, hold up. So if y'all were together, if you were married for 17 years and y'all were together for 7.5, why didn't you pursue a polygamous relationship because it looked like you were taking care of 2 houses in some kind of way. You had to be doing something other than just going over there Sunday for it to last 7 years. You was contributing something else.
Have that. Sister Evans wasn't gonna have that.
Okay,
it don't have to necessarily be with Sister Evans.
Okay, so let me go to phase 2. So
phase 2 was a polygamous relationship. Go ahead and tell us.
So we 4 years, this 4 years in. So finally, I was kind of like, I said, damn, I'm getting the mistress is really the wife. Like I'm getting all the wife stuff over here. Like, and she wasn't just cooking on Sunday. I was going over there during the week too. Like she was cooking during the week. I was like, okay, I was going over there as well or whatever. And so so I was like, man, I just came out like, look, I said, tell you what, this is what we're gonna do. I'll just still pay everything over here and just let me go and just go over here and be happy. That's just what I said. I was like, okay. And so she was like, I don't care what you do. I ain't never signing no divorce papers.
Oh,
I was like,
interesting.
oh, okay. So I was like, okay, well, let me put it to the test. Let me see, this kind of way I was in my head. I didn't say it, but I was in my head. So after that, I was like, I was over here one day. 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 So that went on for like about 3.5 years. After that. And so when I told my best friend, I was over his house and we was watching football, and he was like, man, how long you been doing this? I was like, I don't know, like a week, 2 weeks. Well, man, this shit ain't gonna last. That's what he told me. He said, man, bro, you ain't gonna be able to pull this off like this. This ain't gonna work. I was like, okay, not a problem. So about like a year and a half later, he was like, hey man, how long you been going back and forth like that? I was like, I don't know, a year and a half, maybe. Why? What's up? He said, man, I want to apologize to you because I didn't think that shit was gonna last a week. And you a year and a half in, like just back and forth. And like just I was like, I was kind of like, man, she said she ain't gonna sign. I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm just gonna be over here and be over there just every other day. That's kind of what I was doing. I already got number 2. She already committed to her spot. So, and so that's pretty much how I was rolling.
Wow.
Yeah, because me and Brian talked about that a lot of, and I guess because of the numbers, for decades now, Black families, there's been a lot of man sharing. So, there's the man, he has like 2 different households and just 2 different families. But a lot of Black, people, if you ask, most Black women, they will be outraged and offended if you ask about polygamy. But a lot of Black couples and relationships are in polygamous relationships. There's a lot of situations unknowingly or
unknowingly, they just don't want to put that title. So it's like going through the motions of it, but let's not put that title on it. You know what I mean? That's what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then, and I was still, and even I was doing that, I was like still every now and then dating in between all of that. So I was
man, it's only 24 hours in a day.
Yes, when he said
there's a will, there's a way.
Let me tell you.
But I think Mario has several tools, apparently.
I'm telling his endurance is real good.
He said multiple, and apparently he was saying right the first time, because you obviously need more than one to get all that work done.
Girl, and he said earlier he had worked his magic. Maybe that was Brian or Mario. Somebody said they worked their magic. You must got some, in the words of 50 Cent, you must got the magic stick.
I was told there's enough time in a day to do whatever you want to do. Because not everyone requires a longevity of time. Not everyone requires the same.
He kept saying quick a couple times too. But
he did.
Yeah, Mario, and thank you for sharing your story. That's a perspective for us women. Not that we didn't know, not like it's shocking to us because we know that. We know how men roll. We know. However, when you were telling your story, it seems like, you smiled. You were telling it with lots of flavor, joy. Was that like a pat on the back, a badge of honor? Like, is this something you'll tell your grandsons? Gather around, let Paw tell you a story about when I was at, it seems like it was a story, like you really enjoyed telling this story while you probably had 2 women. This is the worst time of their lives. And they probably, when they tell it, they're probably in tears. Meanwhile, you're telling it and you're like, yes, I did this. And
it was every other day. One, I love you. One, go to hell. And it was back and forth. Yeah. It was emotional roller coaster. you know.
And you wonder why we as women sometimes feel like why at a certain point in time in our lives, after divorce, after whatever, we're jaded, we're hurt, we don't know what we want, because hell, we were in situations with men who didn't know what they wanted. So it's almost it's like when you, I don't want to say it's abuse, but it could be, when you abuse a child, or when you inflict some of that pain on a child, it carries over. So we got good guy, we got bad guy, we got hibernated hoe, we got.
Okay.
I guess I'm just like I'm just like, give up. I give up is probably what I am.
You can't give up. One thing I got to say about this, and to my sister Sonia, honey, never give up. Never give up, because one thing that, as I was saying earlier, it's on time. Maybe it's some things that you need to dig deep in and kind of heal. You know what I mean? Because as a woman that has been hurt, you don't want to wear that scorned woman label. So you want to heal yourself. And we don't, regardless of what the dating game is going about, one thing about it is, what's for you will be for you. And I know God does not want us to be lonely. He does not. So heal yourself. You know what I mean? Heal yourself. And you don't want the right man to come by and you're still carrying that baggage, and you're projecting on him someone else's hurt. Someone else's hurt that inflicted on you. So if it's a good guy and he's coming through, trust and believe. He's not going to allow you to mistreat him. So heal yourself first, and then, honey, trust that right man. He's coming. Trust and believe. I believe that.
Okay.
Hey.
Amen. But we go back to, I think, Mario's story kind of segues into, are Black women and men socialized to be incompatible partners? Okay, because
Absolutely.
Mario talked about we talked about Mario, the joy, in your spirit, concerning having multiple women.
I'm a happy person.
When I think about being young and seeing what I was told, as opposed to my brother when he was young, or seeing what my male cousins were told. One thing I saw with I remember my brother was 2 years old, and one of my uncles said, "Do you have one girlfriend or two girlfriends?" And my brother, in his little baby voice, "I got two." And my uncle was just clapping. Everyone in the room was laughing. And so there's that praise. And so it was being ingrained. Now, everybody thinks that this is, kind of like, oh, it's just something funny. Well, that's something you're being ingrained into a child at 2 years old. This child is like, I can't wait to go preschool on Monday because I get to have two girls,
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait till nap time.
Not even potty trained yet. Not even potty trained.
I got suspended I was the first kindergarten to ever get suspended from school because I kissed a girl in class. I got suspended in kindergarten. It's kindergarten. I went up to a girl and I liked it. They like, Mario, you like her? I like, yeah. So I went up and kissed her. And they, it was
Did you kiss her in the mouth?
Like, ooh, huh?
Kissed her on the mouth?
You kissed her on the lip? Or you kissed her hand?
No.
You
know, nasty Mario kissed that little baby girl.
Yeah, I kissed her. So I kissed her on the face. So they sent me to the office. So they sent me to the office, and the principal, he was like, Mario, I don't know what to do. This has never happened before. So
Mario the hoe.
I was like, so he suspended me. So I go home. Okay, back this is before child abuse law. So of course, my mama put wrestling moves on me. So I couldn't get, I was like, so I went back to school. She beat me down. So I couldn't get suspended again. So when when I did it again, I was like, I went back to the office and the principal was like, Mario, we can't keep doing this. And so I was like, well, look, just whoop me. Like, you can do it. So I asked the principal to whoop me, and he pulled off his belt and he gave me 5 licks. And I was like, oh man, I'm good. Just as long as we don't tell my mama, I'm good. And so that was the last time. I never did it again. At least not in kindergarten. I did.
So you had apparently been caught kissing little girls multiple times.
Well, I wasn't like caught. I wasn't hiding.
Okay.
Damn, Mario, you started
That brings us
sweet
to
early.
the way you were with your wife. I wasn't hiding. I told her I was kissing.
And I think that's like, Mario, your experience, it kind of lets me see behind the scenes, because a lot of, with the dating situation, a lot of married men have placed themselves in the dating pool. And a lot of guys, they either won't tell you the truth, and they don't necessarily have to be married. Some guys is, they're common law married. They, have entire serious relationship with kids, a whole family at the house. And that was my issue. I was meeting so many men who were lying. And now you said you told women the truth, but that's not
normal. That's not how it goes.
Normal. And that's the things too. It's like, and I always say a man will completely dismantle your soul for some sex. A man don't care about the grief, about the trauma, about you thinking like, oh, I'm so in love, this is my boyfriend, and then you find out that he's married. Or I've known several women who have said, they had thought they had an exclusive relationship with a boyfriend. They thought that they were gonna marry him. They might have had kids with him. And then come to find out either he was already married. So this woman, may have been with this guy for a few years and he was already married, or they'll find out like, hey, I found out like your boyfriend just got married. So she's at home just thinking this dude is off at work. This dude out getting married to somebody else. So and I just don't understand how someone can do, like, I would feel so guilty to do. Well, I know you didn't do anything to that magnitude of like.
I just felt like the choice is yours though. Like, I wasn't gonna make that choice for you. So I was always on that. Look, here's the truth. You make the choice. I'm never going to make that choice for you. Because I didn't think it was fair for me to make the decision for you to keep things secret. So that's just the way I did it.
That's what you're saying with that. Okay, I thought you were saying something. I thought you were saying like the choice of you
choosing to deal with me.
That, hey, I'm in a relationship with another woman. You're just like, I'm not gonna leave her. I'm gonna let her make the choice to leave me. But you were talking about when you first meet a woman,
right?
You already have a wife. You not gonna take that choice away from her.
Right. It's your choice. If I meet you, I was like, look, this is what I'm doing. And it's your choice. I think it's not fair for me to make that choice for you. So I always gave you the opportunity to, like I said, only 2 women wouldn't go. Other than that, everybody else was like on board. So, it's not like maybe it's different for me, but the sex rate was like pretty high. Like nobody was like, ooh, it wasn't a deterrent. Like, I was kind of like, yeah. That's like do it.
Sex will make you do crazy things, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, like,
Yeah, and that's why, and I do know, women are in this, there's some women to where they'll be married and they'll, be out
right
with other men. But yeah, that's a whole reason why the dating pool is so difficult. Because there's just a lot of, no one's truly concerned about the next person as a human being and hurting them. People are concerned about, okay, what can I get out of this?
Right.
So that's been the difficulty, with dating. But do you feel like the idea of no monogamy, do you feel like you learned that as a child?
Well, no, because my dad was a pimp.
Oh,
so,
shit.
No, you didn't learn it. You did learn it as a child.
Right, yeah. So my dad was yeah, he was a pimp women on the street. So
like literally, not just metaphorically.
no. He was a literal pimp. So, and I didn't know this until when did I find out?
Kindergarten.
Apparently.
When you was trying to get that little 5-year-old on the team. Shit.
2-year-old he kissing, so he learned that real early on. But let me ask you this real quick, because were you in a 2-parent household? Were you in a 2-parent household, or you were in a single household?
No, my mom was never married to my dad. No, they never got married.
So you were in a single household. Okay.
Yeah. My mom, she was in high school. She was 17 when I was born.
No wonder your grandmother looked so young when you used to show pictures of your grandmother. I'm like, how is that his grandmother?
Yeah. So that's my baby. We gotta rest our soul. So my dad was so to be honest with you, my dad pretty much destroyed it, because when I started spending the summer with him, I was spending the summer with him, and at that time, I think it started when I was 9. Every summer, my mama would send me to California, wherever he was at, and he had 5 women, and they all had different apartments. They had 5 different apartments, and so as a kid, I have to go where my dad is. So if he's with this woman this night, he's with this woman. He's with this woman this night, and so I was going from house to house with him. This started at 9. So at 9, I was just kind of like, oh, this must be what and everybody knew. So I was like, man, this must be what it is.
Goes back to like what me and Brian have talked about several times is I'm not understanding if everyone's kind of agreeing to polygamy. Why financially is everyone wasting money supporting 6, because it was 5 different women plus his household, supporting 6 households. Yeah, it's like, why not just bring it all together? It's
Well, you can't be a successful pimp with all the hoes in the same house. That's not going.
Oh no, not in the same house. Now you can do what you want on the outside, but not in the same house. As far as I'm stubborn.
Everybody got to have their own face. He was like,
and it wasn't the pimp that was supporting it; it was the hoes that was supporting the pimp.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
And he
was 5 households supporting one nigga.
Yeah, everybody had to be separate. No, you'll destroy within. Everybody got to be separate. So
were these women just, his whores, I guess, or was he relationship with all of them? Were they all also prostituting, but also in a relationship with him?
I would assume so. He was, I would assume so. Yeah. So, I was destroyed early. So,
wish that you didn't see that?
It wasn't good for me as a child. Like that, that's not something I should have been seeing. But and I started. You tell me, I took it on once I started going to each grade. I took it with me. Yeah. With this podcast, a whole.
So you're a master.
If I go by grade, we don't want to do that. Not now.
No, he has his PhD in it. Not no master.
Right.
He has a PhD in it.
He has a PhD. Yes.
He is a professional hoe, a professional doctorate in hoeing.
Yeah, when you see your grandfathers or fathers or whatever, I think there's an amount of pride that you feel like you're making your father, your grandfather proud.
I'm just
you laughing, but you know it's the truth.
My great granddaddy told me this, right? And so he said, son, the hardest thing you're gonna do in life is have sex with the same woman for the rest of your life. So I suggest you not try it. And he was the master.
Okay, so what about?
That's a generational curse, I feel like.
Really is.
It is.
What happens is, this is what, the whole by 2 years old, by the time they can speak, before they get out of diapers, we're wanting to already let the young, baby boys know you have to have several women. We want to give them the terminology, main chick and some side chicks. We want to let them know, we want to put that in the music. We want to ingrain that into them really young. But then for the girls, it's
no. As soon as my daughter graduated from nursing school, we've been for husbands. Ew.
Okay, so why was that? That was
Okay.
a family.
You have to know what you done put out in the universe, honey. You probably didn't get it back, but your daughters may get it back. See, no one ever think about that. Sometimes all the things that you do
Unfortunately, yeah.
can sometimes go pour over into your kids. Now, I got a question.
My ex-wife was a church woman. She didn't pray. She good. We good.
Honey, you got to pray for your own self. You did all that.
Why is it funny, Mario?
That's the thing. He's cracking up. He's dying.
I think he's probably, you know, at the point now where he's not doing that. Right, but what I'm saying is, Mario, so you're at the point now where you're not doing this. You're not engaging in all these women at a time, right? Right. So I think with him walking down memory lane, for him, he's probably like, ooh, shoot, I really had it. Damn, you know, it's like memory, all this surface to his frontal lobe. So he's like, ooh, shoot. Ooh, damn, I had a good old time. You know, I'm hoping that's why it's so amusing to see.
No, I'm not the same guy now. I'm a master chef now. I'll make a damn good husband now.
Don't want to marry your ass. Your tool belt is broken. I bet his tool belt probably rusty, honey. The nails is crooked. And he didn't put in too much work with that tool belt.
And I guess that comes back to me and Brian have talked about the whole term of ran through. When people say ran through, that is only designated for women. And I talked to a guy, I've heard several guys talk about that, but a guy was talking about, at 50 years old, he was saying that, a lot of women who didn't want him back when they were younger, now they want him, but he's like, they're ran through now. And I'm like, well, why are they ran through, but you've had sex with several people? Why
he probably didn't have as good a look. His look was probably not as good.
The reason why he's not ran through is because dick is more valuable than vagina. He said when a woman gets older, he said she's going to be dry and has lost her elasticity. And so that's why a woman can be ran through, but there's no equivalent for a man.
Lies, because
and I
men
said,
go
what about
limp.
ED? Because I see a lot of commercials.
A lot of commercials.
We do a lot of those prescriptions every day, and they will hurt you behind that. Trust. So yes, men go limp, honey. They so he can. Or they don't have no desire, or the blood pressure, it doesn't. There's no erection there. So they run into areas too where we got some cream. We can insert some things in us as well.
Yeah.
Well, at a certain point, that ain't gonna work, honey.
The funniest thing.
Or you just find one that's already juicy.
And then I'm gonna have to put parental advisory on this, but about dryness and all this stuff. The women that I hear complaining about that are usually younger girls. I think sometimes, girls, ladies in their early 20s or whatever. And I think a lot of times because a lot of women will have sex with a guy that they don't realize that your body is telling you you're either not attracted to this guy or you don't want sex with this guy, but they don't understand that yet. And so I've heard of young girls talking about, I gotta go buy some KY and this one works. I'm like, why do you need to buy this? Your body naturally,
at that age.
I think too is that as women, as we mature, we become more in tune too with what we want sexually, what we like sexually. And I do think that when we were younger, maybe we did just kind of lay there and take it and do what you think that you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. But as you mature, you become more in tune with yourself sexually, and you know what you like, you know what you don't like. And so, and then too, for us, sex is here, it's mental as well. Mm-hmm. So if you can fuck my mind,
oh baby,
we can be sitting on the couch and I'm already there. I'm already wet.
Mm-hmm.
However,
I'm ready. You can look at me and it's ready. It's already.
And I always say, as a woman, we know within 5 minutes of meeting a dude whether we want to hit that or not. Whether we want to hit that or not. No matter if you want to hit it.
It takes 5 minutes.
Don't take you that long.
You know, I know.
Take that
Mario,
long.
you going? Yeah, because sometimes
No, it probably don't take me that
y'all game
long.
is whack as hell.
Hear
So
you
we have
talking
to.
about stuff, and when you sound stupid or whatever, that's going to be the thing that's going.
Right, and I understand. I've heard stories of women like, you know, I have a lot of women friends, and I talk about. I love their dating experiences. It's quite entertaining, and they tell me what men have said, and I'm like, he said that. Wow, like I'm
when we all went out, Sonia and Parisha, we went out to that club that night, and that guy was across the room making the googly eyes. And then he walked up to me several times. And then that last time he just sniffed me in my ear.
Really?
Remember, he was just like,
oh, I didn't know what he was doing.
Yes. And I was like,
that's because
we were like, what? And Sonia were like, I'm calling security on him. Sonia was cock locked and loaded. She was about to call security on this man. But he came up to me and he said, I may not be what you're looking for, but you're what I'm looking for. I was like, okay, that was a little line. That was a little, you know.
What you want, just as long as I want you, I don't care what you want. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Right. But then when he came back a second time and he proceeded to, I thought he was going to whisper something in my ear. So I leaned in and all he did was sniff.
So he sniffed you twice?
He sniffed me once.
Oh,
the first time he had the line. The second time he came back around, he just sniffed.
Well, Mario, you're saying he's only supposed to sniff how many times, Mario? What?
Is there a sniffing limit?
Because when she held her ear out, I was like, "But damn, she must like being sniffed because she got. I want to get sniffed twice."
I thought he was gonna whisper in my ear. We were like in a loud place. I thought he was whispering. You know, so I'm leaning in, thinking he's gonna whisper, and he begins to just sniff me, and I'm like, "Where did they do that at? Like what?" Why, who, when, what, where? And it's weird shit like that that makes us be like, I don't even want to do it. You know, it's so sometimes guys, I get it, like you have to try things that are different to try to reel women in. But don't you ever go out, if I hear about one of y'all sniffing bitches in the club, I'm
one.
Now. I thought you said now one.
That ain't
anyone.
That's how we do it. I tell you, that is not the approach.
My first short film to where it was the second date that she went on, the guy sniffed her. So.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't think I would be against being sniffed.
But it's who you want to be sniffed by.
By, true. So for me, if you come up behind me and sniff the back of my neck or sniff my hair, yeah.
You easy.
I'm like, you know, sure. And then I turn around, shit, and you make me look you down, and then I look
come
up.
Come on back. We on
shit. I done looked you up and down. Yeah.
It must
You're gonna be on a whole stroll tonight. Just go roll down Harry Hines and look for that gold
Hell
afro.
No.
Strawberry.
Not Harry Hines, honey.
I guess that's a thing. Mario, Brian, have y'all been sniffing women? Is that a thing?
No. I mean, not after I know her.
You said not her neck.
Not
her neck.
Once I know you, oh yeah, it's on. Like, but not out. If I'm meeting you out, nah. That's the ID channel. That's creepy. That's first rate.
Listen, we're in COVID, honey. Everything goes in COVID. Maybe that's the COVID dating. Maybe that's the new thing. I don't know.
That's a weirdo.
That is.
Nah, that's weird. I only watch the ID channel. Yeah, that's you're a weirdo. Yeah. He live in his mama's basement, sniffing people.
He probably sniffing his mama. Shit. That's what he's
girl, wait a minute.
It's you don't know what goes on in people's
like the type who
basement.
will break into your house and just steal panties out of the dirty clothes basket and be
I've seen the ID channel. How many stories have you seen on ID channel that are like that? Tons of them.
See, they have a
There's a whole
that's
website
different
dedicated
type
to
of
that.
man.
There's a whole website dedicated to that.
To the
Oh,
slim
God.
panties.
Selling dirty
So
pants.
Brian, it seems like
Yeah.
Brian. Brian is the real good guy, and stay that way. Stay that way, Brian. I
We
want you to
got
stay that
Angel
way
over
because
here and
trust-
Satan.
I mean, because trust, someone will appreciate that. Stay that way. You know what I mean? But let me ask you this, because a lot of my friends are telling me that I need to get on the dating site. So are you trying the dating site?
You which one, Brian or? Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm talking to the good guy. I mean, we know about the other guy. I'm talking about the good guy because he's so quiet right about now.
I tried the dating sites for a hot minute. It's actually funny because the woman that I'm seeing right now, actually, we knew each other from school and we connected on a dating site. But I thought she was reaching out just to say, like, hey, like, I see you on here. I know you from school. And so I didn't think anything of it. And I was on my way out the door. I remember literally saying to her, well, good luck, have fun. I'm done doing this. And then circle back around, we connected up another way. But yeah, I tried the dating site thing. It's very, like they say, swipe right, swipe left. It's very like you get through people really, really fast without ever getting a chance to really get to know anybody. So I mean, it works for some people. I have a cousin of mine that got married off of dating site. So, but
It's entertaining. Yeah, it's entertaining.
I feel like the good guys get snatched up very quickly because there's so many, in the Black dating experience, there's so many Black women. I see, Black women who are just, will say that they will stay up all night crying because they are wanting their husband to come into their lives. And so I feel like when you have, the numbers are in y'all's favor. So when you have so many women who are, why are you laughing, Mario? My
because he's thinking about the numbers. He's thinking about the numbers in his favor.
Oh my goodness. But the good guys get snatched up really quick. And when I see, guys who are attractive and they're single and they're just like, it's hard out there. It's hard out there to find a good woman. And I don't want to dismiss, their experience. But a lot of times I feel like it's because my dad says, if you have too many options, you have no options at all. And when you don't stop weighing every option, it's like, oh, I'm gonna, if there's 1,000, women who come and want to date me, I'm gonna try to date all 1,000 of those women. You don't have any options at all. You're never going to settle down. And the guys who are saying they want to settle down, I feel like a lot of times it's, I'm not gonna stop weighing every option. If I settle down with her, there might be something better out there. So I always kind of side eye when a good looking Black man who says he wants to be married and is not, because I feel like the numbers are in y'all's favor, but I also don't want to dismiss, I'm not a man out there dating. So if we're having difficulty as women, I think y'all are having difficulty as well, except the numbers are in y'all's favor. And a lot of times the good men will get snatched up really quick.
Well, Sonia, remember we had this
you're
conversation.
laughing. Go ahead. What you say?
Like I'm listening to Mario talking, and he said, he's not the good guy, but I don't perceive him as a bad guy.
Well, damn,
like,
what the bad guys are
well, no, just hear me out. Because me and you have talked about this, where we use the term good guy all the time, but there's a definitive difference between a good guy who's basically just a genuinely decent person who you can hang out with, have a good time with, who can be a good friend, and a good guy who's ready for a relationship. Because Mario is not a bad guy. He just ain't want to be in a serious relationship. And so in a dating marketplace, those two men are distinctly different people. They move completely differently. They date differently. And so I think as long as we keep putting them in the same bucket together, saying good guy, then we're missing, we're missing the mark.
Good guy is so subjective, because normally when I hear men saying, because neither one of y'all have gave y'allself the title of good guy.
Right.
But the guys who give themselves the title of a good guy, it's usually like, why won't you date me? Just because I don't have a job, and just because, I
Yes, exactly.
don't do this. It's almost like, just because I don't have a job, just because I don't look a certain way, just because, they name off all these negative things, but I'm still a good guy. And it almost feels like saying, it's like, well, I know the milk is spoiled, but it's good milk. It's like, well, if I have no use for this and you cannot be useful in my life, you can be a good guy, but that's not going to serve me, in a relationship. So a lot of times the good guys are trying to make you feel guilty. The guys who are self-proclaimed good guys, a lot of times when they start naming off some things they have going on, you're like, well, this is not a good situation. This could be something to where maybe you need to get that stuff together and then come back out in the dating pool.
Right.
And the funniest thing is, on those dating sites, there have been guys in prison trying to reach out to me. And I'm like, you don't think I know where Angola, Louisiana is? Nobody don't live in Angola, Louisiana, unless you're in prison, sir.
But amazingly, those guys are very successful at getting you in.
And that's the unfortunate thing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I guess I can't say it's unfortunate if a woman finds the love of her life in prison, then I guess,
Yeah, you can say unfortunate. You can say unfortunate.
It's just once again, like Mario said, the story about, talking about his father, but a lot of the guys that you're talking about that claim that they're such good men and they're such good men, unfortunately for them, they didn't have a male figure in their life, because they wouldn't be calling themselves good men if they didn't have some minimum expectations. Because women are going to expect some very minimalistic things out in the dating world, and if you don't have a job, if you don't have your own place, then you don't qualify. And so, right, so they're the standard. They think they're good men because their mama told them they was a good man, not because no man told them they were a good man.
Me and my sister was clowning around. You said you don't qualify. We were like, you applied for Sonia, but you qualified for Mildred. It's like, you don't qualify.
Hey, he don't even qualify for Mildred. You qualify for like a turtle. Like, you don't get nothing. You don't get a woman. No, you go and see how long you can keep this goldfish alive. Then we'll talk.
Oh, what?
Well, I think part of that is that when people say good guy, they're not thinking of themselves as a good guy as in the dating world. They're thinking, I'm a good person. I love my mama. I go to church. They have good qualities of a person, and not per se a good qualities of a person who should be in a dating pool. So we cannot say that they're not a good guy, because they probably are a good person. Yep. But as far as the qualities that you're bringing to the table in this dating world, those are not the qualities that you that are desired, that are required to get you a wife or a girlfriend, or even a little piece of ass. Some good quality ass. You have
to go to Harry Hines
and get that ass, because you can't get this quality ass, baby. You got the great value Walmart ass. This is the Neiman Marcus ass. That's what you know.
You need employment. Let's start there, sir. Like we can't go any further. You don't have employment, we can't cross this line.
You need employment. You need a car. And these are requirements for, I would say, people of a certain age. Maybe when you're 20, in your 20s.
When you're young, yeah, I understand.
I'm gonna pick my boyfriend up. We're gonna share a car, do all that stuff like that. That was fine. I remember I used to, with my ex, we used to roll. He would take my car. I go pick up his homeboy. Two of his homeboys. then they would go take my car and they would go roll to wherever they was rolling at. And this was all in my car. And I was just sitting like, no big deal. It was fun. But as time progresses, you do require certain things. And so you could have a person who is really a good person. They just don't have good dating qualities.
Yes.
Yeah. And then also, I think for me, the thing that can be frustrating is when someone approaches you and they're interested, and maybe they don't have a job, maybe they don't have their own place, maybe they're not, you're not attracted to them, so it's just like you just know that's not going to work. And when I see guys that get mad about it, you cannot force someone to be with you. There's guys to where I'm not their cup of tea, and I can't go and stalk and get upset and say, well, I'm a good woman. It's like, you have to be with me because I'm a good woman. That's just not how life works, So that's the thing that gets me. It's like, because the guy who doesn't have the job and doesn't have his own place,
Is homeless.
He's probably still gonna find a woman who's gonna be okay with that, but it's like
they could be okay together. Like, and that could be fine. They could be okay together. Like, everybody doesn't have to be, the Beyonce and Jay-Z's of the world. If you want to have, if your little homeboy want to work over there at the corner store and sell single cigarettes and whatever, and you want to do hair in your kitchen, and if that's what y'all do and y'all in love, then I love that kind of love. I love it, but that's just not for me. I recently met
everybody's requirement is different.
Right. I recently met a person who said, I'm a blue collar worker. And because you went to college, you want somebody who got a bow tie and have a sweater wrapped around their neck, kind of like Carlton, I guess, in their image. And because I'm a blue collar worker, I don't meet your standards. That you said that. I never said that. If you got a job, if you making good money, if you going to work, it doesn't matter.
You can be an electrician, a mechanic, you can be doing some amazing things.
Exactly. But when people begin to also too, is it because they've met people who have kind of put that notion into their head, when they're out here in this dating world, that's saying, if you're not equally yoked, as Brian said, in that way, then we're not compatible. That's not true. Just because a person decides to go to college and graduate from college doesn't mean that they can't date a person. Hell, I could date a dope boy. Is you paying this rent? But but what I'm saying is that just make sure I have a little money put on your commissary when you get locked up. But I just think that we have to stop putting people in buckets. Looking at a person as well, stop putting them in certain buckets. And then we also have to stop worrying about checking certain boxes as well too. Yeah, when we start looking at checking boxes, that's when we kind of you can block a blessing.
Some of my bad decision making came from that type of thinking, came from being filled with this idea that I didn't deserve something different. Or I didn't qualify for one reason or another. And it wasn't until I changed that mindset that things started to change. So it wasn't so much issues or the other people being bad people or anything like that. It was my mindset that kept leading me into the same situation over and over again.
I have heard guys say, and I don't know if that's true, and sometimes I feel like there's certain narratives that are pushed to wage this battle of the sexes between Black men and Black women. So a lot of these stuff, I take it with a grain of salt. I have heard some guys say that as blue collar men, that women aren't wanting them because they're wanting this image of Black excellence, and that's a man, working as an executive or going to work at this corporate office somewhere. So I don't know how true that is, but my thing is there are certain blue collar jobs to where your white collar man might not even be making as much as this blue collar man, and a lot of times blue collar will open up the door faster for you to be your own boss. So I'm hoping that that's not true. That women aren't missing their blessings just automatically. The man can be a mechanic or electrician or whatever, and you're just like, no, because he's blue collar, and assuming, that somehow he's less valuable. But
well, it just depends on the woman, because in the media, everything it's just projected. If you don't have that money, if you can't buy me that LV, if you can't buy me the glitz and glam, then okay, you're not the one. Well, for me, whether you are a blue collar or white collar, I don't care what color your collar is. For me, what I need you to do is to respect me, and I need you to bring balance, and I need you to add to me and to us. Because if you got to get out there and work at a second job or however the case may be, you can do that. But one thing is hard to teach a man or a woman is, character, real character, because you can have all the money in the world, however, but they have no respect for you, or they can't communicate, or they don't know how to be a man to really, can you change my tire? I mean, you can make the money, but can you change my tire? Can you be that strength of a man that I need? I've always had to be the strong woman, you know what I mean? So can I just be weak with you? I'll take care of the home, but you're the man, and you be able to lead, so I just want, for what I'm looking for now is, it's a little balance, a man that is balanced, in his emotional state. I need you to be balanced, because some men, they've been hurt, and girls, you can see that they project that, and it could be the way that they treat you. They still living in the past, and they could make all the money in the world, but still don't know how to treat you. They feel as though they can buy you, but when it's raining outside and we're just sitting on the sofa and we have nothing else to talk about, you can't make me feel good, or we can't just have a moment of just us and we be content. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? But you making all the money and you can buy me, but yet and still you don't know how to treat me. So I'm looking for a balance with a man who's ready and a man who's balanced.
Yeah, I think for me, in order for me to ever, even consider, being in a relationship, I need that good communication. I need someone to come who cares about me as a human being. I don't think I've met the guy who cares about me as a human being. Because even the guys that I've met who are like going from, they meet me today, it's like, oh, I want to marry you. It's a lot of them wanting to control, so I've met the guys who are like controlling, who are wanting to jump into a relationship really quick, or going from zero to marriage, or it's like they're seeing what things that I can be an advantage to them. So it's like, if they're like, hey, I want a house, I'm looking for to have this certain type of house. If I get into a relationship with her income, I can get this house. Or I have these kids and I'm a single father. It's like, if I can rush her to the altar, I'm gonna have somebody to help me take care of these kids. And so I feel like those were the times that pressure of, okay, that's a lot that you're asking of me after date one. That seems like that's the only time I've saw guys that are wanting to rush into a relationship, because it's like, okay, I need somebody to help me with these kids. It's funny, I've met a lot of single fathers, interesting enough. Or I've met guys where it's like, okay, he's wanting to rush into a relationship because he's hoping he can move in with me, or he's wanting to rush into a relationship because he's just like, two incomes are better than one. With Sonia credit, my credit, our incomes, we about to get that $500,000 house. And I am very aware of that. It's like, okay, well, do you want me, or you
he wants your qualities. He wants
yeah.
what you have to bring to
Right.
the table.
Yeah,
Table.
so yeah, but other than that, I feel like most men I've dated, it's been to where they don't want any commitment at all, and they want this vagueness, meaning that I don't want to put a label on it at all. Because the reason why there's no label is that if you catch me out with somebody, if I catch them out with somebody else, they want to be like, I ain't never said we was together. But if they catch me out with somebody else, like, oh, you cheating on me. So it's just like, if I can keep it vague, I can play it any
Either way.
way, I can play it to my advantage. Also, the communication, I've met a lot of guys to where the communication has been horrible. It's probably because in the background, they're juggling so many other women. It's like, how are you going to, and Mario was like, amen. I know from firsthand experience, when you juggling, 10, so yeah,
I got a question on that, Mario, and this is something I've had a conversation with a couple of friends. I want to know, like, when you are juggling several women, like, how do you know, or what determines who you want to deal with for that day?
For the day?
Hey, baby, for the day, for the hour, I'm just trying to see how you categorize it, how you put it in the order. Like,
is there a
like, who's gonna give
spreadsheet?
you the best? Is that gonna give you the best? If you're looking for some head that day, are you you're looking for the one with the best head, the best. What? I mean, I just want to know.
It was never like who was next or whatever. Like when I was out doing it, I started the day, of course.
He's stammering.
I'm still working. I'm still earning money, so I'm doing well. I sent everybody a text in the morning. Hey, how's everybody going? This kind of thing. So I did that.
You copied and pasted it 10 times.
Now, back then they didn't have like the copy and paste back. They didn't have iPhones back then. Like,
so you actually had to physically type it on your BlackBerry.
Yeah, physically type it in, so no mistakes.
So inconvenient.
Yeah. So it was a convenience. So I still, I treated everybody nice. So if I went out and bought roses, I bought everybody roses.
Oh,
like,
that's sweet.
So this
That's
is what I would
bullshit,
do.
Mario. I'm just gonna say it right here. Don't go into no more examples, because what you about to say is some bullshit. I treated them all nice. I went out and bought everybody roses and everybody the same text.
Well, as well.
No, that's saying.
But you haven't answered that question though. What I want to know is how you determine for that day who you're going to spend some time with for that day, or for that hour, 2 hours, or how you categorize it, or if you send 3 people in a day. I mean, I'm just trying to see.
No, it was just whoever was available. Because keep in mind, even though I was married, like, they had people too. So it wasn't like they were just women just sitting at home waiting for me. So they had to get available as well. Like, some of them were married and some of them had boyfriends. Most of them had, they had somebody. So we had to, I meet people on their job, this. Yeah, I had friends.
Giggling ass Mario.
Huh?
Did you meet people on our job? Don't answer that question. Don't answer it.
No, answer the question, Mario.
Please.
Did I meet people?
Honest.
Did I meet people on the job?
People on our job.
I used to cook for the whole floor. Right?
And
you do remember that, right?
Man, it's been so long and I hated that job.
Okay, so this is what I did. So this is before you got there. So this is what I did. This is how I started on the job. So what I did on our floor, I went and found out it was Mother's Day was coming up. And I was like, man, how can I get all these women to like? I said, how can I get these women to like? I said, oh, okay, I got it. So what I did is I found out how many mothers were on the floor. And it was 31 mothers on the floor. Okay, cool. So it took me like a week to find out everybody. So what I ended up doing is I went to Dollar Tree and I bought 31 vases. I went to Sam's Wholesale because you could get 2 dozen roses for $14. So I bought 3 dozen roses and I put a rose in each vase on each desk. Then the next 2 days, I went out and I found Mother's Day cards, 31 different cards that I got. So I went and read each card to make sure that nobody had the same card. So I didn't duplicate any cards, and I put it on that desk and I signed it. And then when Friday came,
baby daddy, is that how you signed it?
Huh?
Your future baby daddy, is that how you signed the card?
No.
He signed it this big. The tool. No, he signed it the tool.
And what did I make? I made 2 big pans of my homemade Alfredo pasta. I think one was shrimp and like one was chicken. And so I took a picture of it and I put it in like our break room. And then I put it on the web and I got everybody's email address and I sent it out at 10 o'clock because I wanted to do it before they went out for lunch because I wanted to make sure nobody spent money. So at 10 o'clock, I said, Happy Mother's Day. I said, Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Don't worry about lunch. It's on me. You can go and get it right now. And everybody just went in the break room. And of course, everybody got a chance to eat some because it was some for everybody. So I didn't single out just single women, like, okay, women with no children. Hey, you can get some too. It's plenty for everybody.
It's plenty of the tool to go around.
I wanted every woman some food. Yeah, so everybody,
I'm gonna eat it up.
For scouting sexual partners.
I was just being friendly.
Mario, that's predatory behavior.
I was being nice.
Well, I tell you what, and what he was doing got him probably easy play because I mean, he probably, you know, he knew what he was doing, just trying to like fishing, like you throwing it out there, trying to see who's gonna bite. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure several bit.
They were shocked
because
they
that's
were
interesting. A man that wants to cook and the timing that he wants to cook for us. I mean, then you portray this cool dude image. You know, you so laid back. I mean, you easy to talk to. You know, like one thing can probably lead to another easily. Yeah, I see that.
But Mario, here's what I think. I think that, you know, that was a very nice gesture. You know, you going to Dollar Tree, man, you knocked it out the park. However, what you did was for women on a day, whereas for mothers, and especially single mothers, where you probably have felt unappreciated all throughout the year. Mother's Day is supposed to be that day where you feel appreciated. And here you are, you have this, and what you thought was, I just want everyone, you know, I want to show them that they're appreciated, but that wasn't your end goal. So it was kind of almost like a slap in the face. Like you were going out after these women on a day that was supposed to be a day of them being celebrated for being these mothers, but you were just out scouting some ass.
They were celebrating.
But Shawnee, it's up to that woman. You know, we as single women, single parents, we can't just be easily pulled in.
But you have some that are easily, you have those ones that are just like, oh my God, yeah, vulnerable. God, like, oh my God, this guy at work, he, you know, he gave me this rose, and that's the one you're gonna get that's gonna be sitting outside your house.
Well, you have to assess the situation. I mean,
right. So the thing is, you done saw 31 women, and you're gonna get, you know, you're gonna get that one. You can't do that to everybody now. Don't you cook no goddamn Alfredo and no chicken shit for nobody no more. You understand? Stay ass away from that goddamn Dollar Tree and get them rolled them bases. I don't want that bullshit.
So, you know, everybody entrusts me. So one guy came to me, and I still talk. He friend is the very day. He said, "No, what, man? I want to let you know, man, you ain't shit. You could have gathered and let us. You made us look real bad. We could have put some money in on it, say we all did it, but you knew what you were doing. You wanted to be the center of a team. You wanted to get all the hugs and everything." And I was like, well, you know, hey. So it was one.
Recruit sexual partners? Did you get some?
It was one lady that came up to me crying and she hugged me. And I was like,
there, yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, cool. And this is what she said. She said, I'd never received a rose from a man ever. I was like, well, damn. Like, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, surely over your lifetime, 30, late 30s, 40 years, she had never received a rose from a man before. And that stunned me. I was like, man, for real?
For me at this point, it's hard for me to believe any man's intentions are good. And I'm not saying that there's not any men out there whose intentions are good, but it makes every woman question that, because I understand the depths of dismantling your soul that a man is willing to do for some ass. They don't care if you're left, hurt and emotionally wounded. And so that's why it's kind of hard for me, because there's men who will say, hey, I know you've been hurt so much. I'm the man that's not good. There's no, links to the, things they would say or do.
Yeah. Okay. So I can stand.
For me, I'm going to question everybody's intentions.
Yeah, I never said that. Those words will never come out of my mouth. I'm never gonna say what I'm.
Yeah, but if you really were doing this to recruit some ladies, that's quite interesting.
And keep in mind, it's not just like, it's spread it beyond that. Like friends. Like, I don't know who said it. Like, this guy at work. It was a lot of this guy was the guy at work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was there. And this is just what people tell me. This is just what people tell. This is just what I'm told. I was like, really? They said that about me? I was like, wow.
And I think and for me, the funniest thing was, over the last, 12 years that I've been divorced, a lot of times, most of the time, it's like I haven't met many men who say, okay, we are in a relationship. But the funniest time is, out of those 12 years, the time that I was seeing someone and he was like, we're in a relationship, was when I worked at USAA. And I really feel like God was saving me from Mario.
Well, thank God.
That was Mario's praying wife.
Mario seemed like he was hell.
That was Mario's praying ex-wife. She said, Lord, I'm about to put a prayer with USAA.
You know what I'm saying?
He saved you? Hey, you sure he saved you? You sure?
He saved me, because don't be putting no rumors out here.
No. Sonia, did you eat the Alfredo?
Absolutely. He said before I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, while she was there, I cooked some meals or whatever. Yeah. So, yeah,
Mario, where are you from? Where are you from, Mario?
I'm originally from Memphis.
Oh, okay.
I need to avoid Memphis.
Yeah. So Sonia had that. And like, guys at work, we talked, and so we like put women in categories. So Sonia was one of the ones that was in the top tier because she was natural. Like, she wore her own hair, she didn't have no color contacts, and that was major. Like, that, men really appreciate that natural. Like, oh man, she got that natural beauty. Yeah, she don't need nothing. You don't need that. No cream.
Call me Old Natty.
Who?
I remember his name. He would call me Old Natty.
Was it Paul? Paul to sound like he said some shit like that.
No, that wasn't his. I can't remember his name, but we would laugh. But we'd be eating, but I can't see because Old Natty in front of me. I'm like, Old Natty, is that what I'm getting?
Really?
Look, that's about as worse as being caught, like my homeboy called me matted head dog.
Well, yeah, Old Natty, like, yeah.
Old Natty, like natural Natty, Old Natty.
Yeah, natural is good. Like,
there was a guy who worked with us every morning. He was saying, throw that ass in a circle. I didn't even know his name. But when he quit, I'm like, throw that ass in a circle? Quit? For real?
Really?
That's what I thought his name was. I thought his name was in a circle.
That was before the Me Too movement. You could say that on the job. Yeah,
every morning. I'm like, every morning this dude is saying, throw that ass in a circle. Like,
Shit, that's shit.
That
I
is
should have
the
been where
jam,
y'all
though.
was. Throw that ass in the circle. Look, me and
The
Sean
morning
like, yeah. So let me just say this. So kind of like to just sum this panel up. All right, so we have 4 divorcees, 1 never married. Okay, and so we have a raise of hands of someone who's looking for a marriage right now. Are you, Sonia? I'm sure you're looking to be married again, or what are you looking for? A commitment?
Yes, a committed
Okay.
relationship. Right now I'm focusing on me, so I can't really. I don't even think I'm focused on it. But yeah, I'm not looking to put a lot of focus on dating at all right now.
Okay, Brian, where are you?
In between.
I think Brian need to get his feet. Listen, this is my observation of Brian. I think Brian got married fairly young. I think Brian need to get his feet wet. I don't think Brian need to jump back into anything.
Them
I
had
don't
2
think he
eyes,
needs to
honey, them children. Brian got them
Yes.
feet wet.
No,
Yeah,
no,
he
let
got wet.
Brian say. I don't think Brian's feet got real wet. Like his feet not soaking wet like Mario.
In the dating,
And
Right.
in the
Mario's
dating
feet
pool.
are pruned.
But
Mario's feet look like some damn, like you've been in the swimming pool too long.
it's not.
Right.
They look like some
Right.
But seriously, Brian, I mean, let me know if I'm off base or not. I feel like you need to, before you even get into anything like serious, totally serious, I think you need to
I'd rather
get
be
a
a
little
monk.
bit more experience.
I'd rather be a monk. I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy
Okay.
like
The dating pool is
it's emotionally and mentally exhausting.
It is.
Like I don't enjoy the process of going through all of that.
Look at Mario.
I've gotten my feet wet, but just no soaking wet. No, I don't enjoy that process. That's why I said I did online dating for about 45 days. And I said, I don't want to do this no more. I did literally I've had to have friends drag me kicking and screaming into like meeting people basically because I'm like, nope, I'm okay. I'm good. I don't want to do it. Nope. I'm fine. I'm taking care of my kids. I'm taking care of myself. I'm helping my parents. Like my schedule for the entirety of COVID, I have been living in Shreveport and driving to Dallas Fort Worth to let my children see their mothers. I started driving every week, so it's every weekend. Now it's gotten to like every 2 weeks. But I literally got to a place where it was like I run a small business with my kids. I was like, I don't have any time for this. Okay. I have no time.
But when you do get that time, when your kids get to a point to where it's like, all right, Dad, peace, and your parents no longer need your help. Like, so then at that point, I think that's where Sonia, Parisha, Mario, myself, we are. I know for instance, I have my son's 17. He's my youngest, about to graduate. And he came out of his room. I've seen him for literally 3 minutes today. He walked out his room, he grumbled something to me, and he walked back. And that's all I'm gonna get. That's all the interaction I'm gonna have with kids for today. Am I happy with that? Fucking right I am. However,
don't do Jackson, baby.
I know, but the thing is, so when you get to that point to where you don't, and I get, Brian, what you're saying is that your commitments have, you could care less about adding dating to the plate because you have so much other stuff to do, and it takes your mind off of all of that. But like, say for instance, for me, I'm like, I'm fucking lonely. I want companionship. I want to cuddle with somebody. I want to lay in the bed. I want to wake up to someone in the morning. And, you get to that point in your life where it's just like, okay, I'm not going to settle just to have those things. But Brian, where you're coming from, your commitments have placed you in a place where dating is not a priority. But I would like to, I want to be somebody's boo. I want to be someone's priority. I want to have that again. And so I love love. I love being in love, but now I think that I know that I want to be in love with the right person and the person who's going to love me. And I'm just not going to settle for anything, which makes it again, difficult. So
Yeah, I get it.
and I flip flop. I take anyone. So shit, my shit is open. Hell.
Girl, cut it out.
That makes you
Cut
expand
it
your
out.
options when you're dating
You
men
got
and
to expand
women.
your options, bitch. Who do I want today? I'm be like Mario. Who do I pick today? It's gonna be the lady pawn or the man
Would you
pawn.
marry a woman or a man?
I would.
Okay.
Huh?
Really, Shawnee?
I would.
Well, for me, as far as like ready to get married, I'm a little scared. And I'm grown enough to admit that I am very scared to be married. And the reason is because when I'm in love, I love you. Like, and I'm your teammate. I'm your friend. I'm loyal to you, and I'm loyal to the situation, and you get 100% of me. So, and I don't want to be toyed and played with. So I won't just give that to anyone, to just any old person, anymore, or whatever. So right now, I think I just kind of want to, I think I've been stagnant, or I've been in hibernation for so long, and I kind of missed a lot of stuff, and everything is different. So I kind of want to, have a little fun. I want some excitement. I want to be safe for sure, because my 21-year-old son, oh God, he's on my ass. But I just want to have fun. I want to be respected, and I want communication, So I want to get all of that out of my system. A little entanglement, okay, whatever. But I just kind of want to have some fun.
Because you're wanting to get into a marriage and have the urge to cheat. Is that
right? I want right, and then I'm also scared. Now I can tell you this, and I will. Ooh, is that a full moon? No, no.
The doggy.
I can tell y'all that out of my whole life of me thinking that I'm in love or been in love, I've only met one man that has made me 100% vulnerable, and he wasn't even trying. So if that man maybe says I'm ready to get married, I might have to just go on, suck it up and get ready.
We'll be in a wedding. And I guess we
I
should
just want to have some fun.
keep wrapping up here. Y'all have been an amazing panel. And I was having the technical difficulties of getting it live streamed, but I can't wait to post this and for people to see the recording. But I guess as we wrap up, I guess I want you guys to say whether you're optimistic or not about the future with relationships and dating, and I'll go first. I am optimistic about my life going forward, about some amazing things I want to do for me. I'm not scared to admit that I'm not optimistic about dating and relationships. And it would be wonderful to have a companion and someone to talk to, someone to cuddle up with, but I'm not willing to get the cuddling and and also get the heartache that comes with it, because it feels like every relationship I've been in, or whatever situationships that I've been in, there's been a lot of heartache that's come with that, because I felt like the person has not cared for me as a human being. And maybe they did, but I wasn't getting emotionally what I needed. So I'm optimistic about my life. But at this point, I'm not necessarily optimistic about dating, but I'm not closing the door on it. So we'll see. I'll love to have a praise report, a year from now or whatever, to where it's like, guess what, and that would be wonderful. And I hope I'm able to have that praise report. But So I'm gonna go around the room. Brian, are you optimistic about the future with a relationship, dating? Optimistic or no?
Yeah.
Oh. Shawnee, are you optimistic?
Yes.
Okay, good. Mario.
Oh, Mario.
Am I optimistic?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love getting on this roller coaster, up and down, up and down.
And your ass is the one that's riding as the conductor of that shit too. Mario, I can cuss your ass out all night. Shit.
You gonna be in a monogamous relationship thing, and you don't have to be, you know. Will you ever be in a monogamous relationship, you think?
Now that I'm older, I'm approaching 50. I mean, I could be. If if I could say I could. Like I'm to be honest with you, like when I was married, hell, I felt like I was cheating on my mistress with my wife because she was like doing everything. Like she was cooking. I mean,
we remember the story. We remember.
Yeah. So
cheating on
Shawnee, you ain't cutting him no break.
Wow.
So but could I be?
We'll talk later about that as a screenplay. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So yes, dating is exciting.
Well, I guess it's been easy for you because you've had all these options. You've never felt like you hadn't had someone. You've had multiple people at one time. So
yeah, I never.
It hasn't been bad for you. You have not had bad dating experiences.
Dating experiences, entertaining. Yeah, I've had some. Yeah, I had some entertaining, possibly ID experiences. Yeah, but that's it'll be another 2 hours. We'll say that for like the next podcast. Yeah, but but no, I've never like been like alone. Like I've never had like a lonely time that I could think of. Like it was just like I was like, oh, I don't have anybody. No,
before you were 5, you had some alone time. 5.
Yeah, but from 5 on, girl, he's been rocking and rolling.
Okay.
But life has been good.
Okay. And Prisha, are you optimistic?
I am. Yes, because I will not allow what has happened to me, where I've been, to dictate me going forward in life, in a relationship. None of that, honey. It's coming. I can feel it. But until then, I'm gonna have a little good time.
Yes, you had a good time.
Good. I've enjoyed you guys. I can't wait to post this. So
thank you for inviting us. This has been very fun.
Thank you. Yes.
So y'all know I'll continue to have panel discussions, and we'll talk about some deep issues. So
yeah, I like deep.
Mario, log on.
The
Zoom meeting is over on Mario's end.
On that note,
hit the leave button, Mario, and leave. Get your bags, get your ass, and leave.
Thank you guys for coming. For all of you who are watching, please go to my YouTube channel, Sonia Unapologetic. Hit the subscribe button, view all the videos, like the video, thumbs up those videos, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
All right. Nice. Bye.